Hello, I'm Sierra Rachel, and this is the Crafty Jawn community. This is our first ever video, and God has been really on me for some time to get this YouTube channel going, start putting content on this YouTube channel, organize the YouTube channel for the community. So this is me being obedient to that, or trying to be obedient to that in this video. And I was like, you know what better way to begin that than with the initial story of how the community became the community. And that story begins with me and God's personal relationship with one another. So if you're interested in hearing the commitment, testimony, love story between me and GodBae, make sure you stay tuned to this video. Okay, so if you don't know about the Crafty Jawn community, I would totally suggest heading on over to IG, Instagram, and following at the Crafty Jawn Co, because then you'll get a better understanding of what the community is. But in a nutshell, the Crafty Jawn community is a community where women are encouraging women to be their best selves, sharing crafty ideas, crafty mindsets, crafty perspectives, gassing each other, and also pushing each other to have a relationship with who we like to call at the community GodBae. God in the Crafty Jawn, or the woman, we're trying to develop and showcase what it looks like to be an ordinary, regular, everyday girl striving to have a relationship with God. And that whole idea, and I don't even know what to call it, that whole thing came from me and God's relationship. So the Crafty Jawn community is a mimic of me and God's relationship, from where it began and then still currently what it is now. We send out notifications and things like that, like reminders of things that lead us either closer to knowing our true self and being our best self, or lead us to being closer to God. And it all started with me and God. So let's just start from the beginning, a little bit about me. I am 32. I will be 32 in May. Look at me, I'm putting my age ahead, but I will be 32 in May. And I grew up in the church since I was a young girl. Family was very like I don't know how to describe it, like true, like, you know, believers in God, believers in prayer, and but the church that we went to was very like strict and, you know, very regimented, where it's like, oh, you got to wear dresses. If you don't wear dresses, then, you know, you're like looked at, or you're judged, or super judgmental type of vibe as far as when it came to religion. And then it was a lot of pressure in our minds to be like, okay, are we doing this right? Are we doing that right? Like, and even though God was brought up in our family, like pray before you eat dinner, and, you know, we go to church on Sundays and all that stuff, and, you know, you go to Bible study and do all those things, it's God still seemed far away from me. I can't speak for other people in my family, but for me personally, God still seemed far away. I had no understanding of him other than I see him and feel him when I go to church, but it wasn't taught to us any practical ways to make him tangible for us, you know, make him real for us. So lived my life. I had a daughter. I went to college, grew to college, whatever. And then I got into a serious relationship with someone that I used to go to church with when I was 22. And me and him were together for 5 years. And then we ended up breaking up. That breakup was the turning point towards my relationship with God. All throughout the relationship, because me and him, we knew each other through church, we had our own relationship with God, I guess, but we weren't actively praying together. We weren't God was not inside of our relationship. We addressed him, but we went to church together sometime, but God was not in our relationship. It's a difference between God being in the relationship, or the two individuals separately acknowledging they know who God is, and like, oh, let's go to church, for Easter, and get all cute and dress the kids up or whatever. But God was not inside of our relationship. I look back at my journals within that relationship, and I was always writing to God and praying to God, like, God, change him, God, fix him, God, do this. I was asking God to do things, and for a relationship that wasn't even allowing him in. Or like, I would ask God something, and he would show me something about the guy, and then I would totally ignore God because God wasn't really in me either. And that's why it was a freaking crazy show. But anyway, so we were together for 5 years. That relationship ended not solely on the fact that I was cheated on in the relationship, because I played parts in that separation as well. But that was kind of like what God used to allow me and him to go our separate ways, right? In the midst of that, though, God revealed to me that after we broke up, God revealed to me that I was putting that relationship and making that relationship my God. For 5 years, that man was my God. Like, my life revolved around that man. My life revolved around that man and his children, whatever decisions he was trying to make. And we were right at the brink of moving in with each other. Even though it was like in my gut, like, oh, we don't need to be shacking up. Like, we don't need to be living together if we're not together. But we were doing all the things that people do when they're in a relationship, especially young people. We're having sex, and where he's spending the night, and like all the things, okay? We were doing all the things. And then we were like, okay, well, let's move in together. And right before we were about to move in together, things got crazy. Everything blew up. I believe I bust the window out. It was wild, okay? Like, it was crazy. And from that came like embarrassment from the failure of the relationship. Things were said, bad things were said, and I got to a point after that relationship where God was literally, I don't know if anybody's ever seen those I guess you call them the memes, and it's like Jesus holding this big old huge teddy bear behind his back, right? And then the little girl, she has this little teddy bear, and God is like, come on, give it to me. And she's like, no. That is like the realest thing ever, because that's exactly what was happening. Like, I was trying to hold on to this relationship. I'm like, God, I know this is the guy for me. And it became so toxic. I began to put myself beneath the relationship. Like, I was allowing certain things. It was just not a good situation. And it was embarrassment. It was a lot of things that he said publicly about me that placed me in a mental space of just like, I didn't want to be here anymore. I was embarrassed. I was just ashamed. I felt like inadequate. I felt unworthy. I didn't think I was beautiful. I didn't feel attractive. I just didn't feel like I had anything to offer, from that breakup, along with my own mental dysfunction, my own mental illnesses that I was experiencing. And not mental illness in the sense of how we know it, but anytime you have unaddressed or unhealed in a healthy manner thoughts or traumas or anything, you're suffering from a mental illness. You're ill, you're sick. So I had all those layers plus the layer of the relationship. And I was sitting in a car driving, and I had the thought of like, I just don't even want to be here anymore. Like, I just felt worthless. I just didn't feel like it was anything, that nobody needed me, or I wasn't needed anywhere. Nobody wanted me anywhere. I didn't feel wanted or anything. I didn't feel like I was being a good mom. Like, I just didn't feel good at all. And I remember crying out in the car, sitting in the car, hands on the steering wheel, driving. Just, how when you drive, your thoughts are just racing in your mind. Sitting at the steering wheel, and I just stopped, pulled over, and I just stopped, because I'm just like, oh my gosh, I feel so much weight on me. I just don't feel good. You just feel horrible. You just feel lost. And I remember saying, Jesus, please take this away. Like, either take me away or take this away. And not only was it with the relationship stuff that was going on, but it was like family stuff that I was dealing with too. So I was in a really, really, really bad space. And it was from that day on that after I called out, I'm about to cry. After I called out to Jesus, because I, with the foundation, like I said, going to church as a young girl, I knew who God was. I knew who Jesus was, but I did not know them intimately. I did not have a relationship with them, but I knew, like, I can go to them. I know, if nobody else can help me. It was things that I couldn't talk to my mom about, couldn't talk to my cousins about, but I could only sit alone within myself and be like, Jesus, if you are there, if you are here, help me. Take this pain away. Take this feeling away. I don't want to feel like this anymore. I don't want to feel like I want to take my life. I don't want to feel like I don't want to be here for my daughter. Like, I don't want to feel like that anymore. So I prayed that prayer and cried out to God, and literally, like, cried so bad where I was like throwing up, crying, because I was just like, empty me, take it from me, take it from me. And then from that day, I began to do devotionals in the Bible app. I don't know why, well, I know why now, but at that time, I didn't know why. I just was like, oh, let me just start going to the Bible app. Mind you, I always had the Bible app on my phone, but I never really used it actively. So start doing the Bible app, searching for devotionals that can, like, really help me and guide me. And then I found this app called Sprinkle of Jesus. And in the Sprinkle of Jesus app, they they had their own devotionals that they would share, and then they had sermons that they would share. So then I was like, okay, I started to get in the mindset of, like, you got to get over this. You got to get over this relationship. You got to get over how you feel about yourself. So I started going to the gym and listening to devotionals while I was in the gym. Still in a very, like, embryo state of getting to know Jesus, because at first I didn't even jump to God. I remember from growing up, they would say, you know, in order to get to God, you got to go through Jesus. So I would really focus on the Jesus devotionals, getting to know Jesus and all this stuff. So I'm reading scriptures, just seeking some type of peace and seeking things that will uplift me and make me feel better. And I really did start to feel better. I really started to feel motivated. I was going to the gym. I was working out. And you know how when I think that was around the time that Khloe Kardashian came up with the revenge body. So I'm like, okay, well then screw it then, you know, whatever. But I'm still, like, solely focused on getting to this relationship with God. It had gotten so good once I'd made those decisions and start getting into devotionals, things just start enveloping and, you know, unraveling right before my eyes. So I was like, when you're a baby in getting to know God, you are so excited. Like, you're so excited. People be looking at you like, she's freaking crazy. Okay, we get it. Calm down. Calm down. Calm down. That's my daughter. Calm down. Calm down, right? So I became, like, super Jesus freak, you know, over the top, too much, okay? And then I got an opportunity because, like I said, I was messing with the Sprinkle of Jesus app. I started to follow the girl Dana, who started and created with her family the Sprinkle of Jesus app. She then had this workshop where you can develop your own mobile app. I had no intention to build an app at that time. So I just wanted to be close to that energy, because I'm like, oh my gosh, she used to share her testimony about, you know, where she was and what she used to do. And then now look at her. She's, you know, she's here. So I was really attracted to her growth more than anything. But then I got a mobile app out of it. And I went to the mobile app developers. I told them what I thought I wanted at the time. I really just wanted, I'm like, oh, okay, I'm trying to move on with my life. I'm trying to get over this relationship. I'm going to start, like, a shop or a boutique or something, you know? And it just didn't turn out that way. Once we got there and once they helped me create it, the spirit worked for me. I didn't even do anything. And I started to get all these downloads from all that work that I was doing, getting to know Jesus. He started to download stuff in me where I would come up with all these different, like, revelations or all these different sayings or quotes or whatever to encourage myself, right? I had them all written down in my phone. So I was like, ooh, instead of it being a shop, I don't really know how to run a shop yet. How about I just send out notifications from this app that they developed? It went off. Like, people started to download. I started telling my friends about it. And then as the notifications were coming out, all of the notifications that were coming out were literally just what me and God had experienced together. well, me and Jesus and God is the same person, but y'all know what I mean. What me and him had experienced together. And then I began to just put it out. And from that responsibility, now it went from me just seeking him, trying to get to know him, trying to just stop having those nasty feelings that I was feeling, to now I had a responsibility to continue to keep searching after him. Because now I'm like, okay, I can't have this mobile app and I can't be not reading the Bible and, you know, all these things. So I continue to read the Bible, and I continue to start praying more. From that mobile app, I developed this 12 o'clock prayer time. I'm like, okay, it's prayer time at 12 o'clock. Like, let's all pray together. Just to keep us, what's the word? Just to keep us, you know, keep me diligent in what I said I was going to do. So we started doing this prayer time. And I'm praying every day at 12 o'clock, praying over the notifications, and then more notification words are coming into my mind. He's downloading more things into my spirit. The relationship really, 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 really took off once the mobile app became the mobile app, because it was now a part of my job. And mind you, it was a job I wasn't getting paid for. I didn't have a job even when I was doing the mobile app for the entire tenure of the mobile app. I didn't even have a job. And it cost money to keep the app inside of the app catalog on Apple. But God was in, that's another thing. He was making a way for the app to still be paid, for the app to be paid for. Just blessings making me want to even seek him even more. Like I started to get to a point where I was obligated, like, okay, reading all these scriptures are having breakthrough in my mind. Now they're leading me to like, okay, this God, he's something else. He's like a provider, right? So Jesus is putting me on to him, like, yeah, I'm telling you, like, if you go through this, he's divine and all this stuff. So I'm like, I need to really be up on this God dude. That's how GodBae became GodBae. And I think it was like a year and a half had passed from that day that I was in the car, stressed out, depressed, not feeling worthy, feeling worthless. A year and a half had passed, doing the mobile app now, having this responsibility. Finally, I'm like, you know what? I want to get closer to God. I want to make a commitment to God, because he's been providing. He saved me. I remember from where he took me from, and so many other instances happened within that year and a half time. I was like, yeah, like me and God, I need to show him that I'm serious about him. And also I was in the mind state as a woman of being like, okay, I'm trying to be celibate. I don't want to have sex anymore. So I had this crazy bright idea. I'm like, you know what? Whenever I get married, whenever that is, whenever God send me a man, he needs to know that my relationship with God is way more important than my relationship with him. Yeah, I was about to try to rephrase that, but no, that's what I mean. That's exactly what I mean. And I needed him to know, like, I'm not impressed by you proposing to me or you trying to, like, marry me, because I'm already married. So I had this bright idea to go and get a tattoo as my marriage to God, or as my commitment to God, right? Designed this, and it's basically, I don't know if you can see it. So it's basically two crosses. And this cross means Jesus before me and God within me. And then the Holy Spirit, it makes an H, because the Holy Spirit connects all three of us together. And I was like so determined. I'm like, yo, I'm done. I'm not having sex no more. Like, I'm committed to God. I'm getting married. I'm taking a bold statement. Like, you know how people be marrying themselves or whatever. I'm like, I'm doing this. Like, me and God is married. And then from that, me and him I literally like took my mind and was like, just like God told me in the beginning, I was making that man my God. I was making that relationship my God. So he told me, everything that you wanted to do in that relationship, show me. Do it for me. Come be my girlfriend. Go with me. And I was just like, what? Go with you? Okay. So me and him started going together. And we were literally I would talk to people and I was just like, yeah, because me and GodBae, GodBae. And I'll be like, oh, me and GodBae was talking, and then, oh, me and GodBae had a date on Valentine's Day. I got this tattoo November 17th, 2017. And that had marked a whole like year and a half from the breakup for me and the guy. And it just was so symbolic. And so I was so excited about it. Like I was so excited about it. It's trying to be so committed to it, right? I lost my train of thought. But in a nutshell, me and God was really going together. Like I was telling people me and him was talking. Oh, and I'm talking about dates. So that 2018, that Valentine's Day, I end up going on a date by myself. First time ever. Took myself to this cute little hotel here in my hometown of Buffalo, New York, and I went and had a drink. I called an Uber. I did my nails because God loved the blue, like it was super cute. See, I knew that anything that made me feel super confident and super beautiful, that's how God sees us. He sees us at our ultimate self. So I was like, oh yeah, he loved the blue because I love the blue. And it helps me get to know myself. It helps me to be more confident in myself. So we was going on dates, we was talking, I was setting date times at the house, like intimacy time with him, and it just developed from there, from me really taking what I knew a tangible relationship to be, and I'm gonna put that over here because this is the progress over here, what I knew a tangible relationship to be, like thus far. The romance, the intimacy, the talking, the telling them everything, the anything else that I would want to do in a tangible relationship with a man here on earth, I just took it and transferred it to my relationship with God, who I can't see. And it, for a minute, it was kind of hard and it was kind of embarrassing because I knew there was no examples. There was nobody out here calling God their boyfriend. Not that I know of. It was always, you know, we reference God, and you just, when you listen to some people's stories, you just don't feel like you can relate. You know, you can't really relate because it's just like he was still just seeming so far away. And I was like, I can't have that. When I think about a relationship, and especially the type of woman that I am, we talking to each other every day. I'm all up on your bumper. Like, we gotta be close. Like, I'm clingy, I want to be needy, like all that. So I needed to turn him into that, and he totally revealed himself in that way to me. And fast forward to now, what is it, 2021? 17, 18, 19, 20. It has not been 5 years. It has not been 5 years. That went by so fast. 11, 17, 17. That's crazy. I'm just realizing that right now. But yeah, so it's been 2017, 2018, 2018, 2019, 2019, 2020, 2020, 2021. Okay, so 4 years. It's been 4 years since I got this tattoo, since me and God have made a commitment to each other. And now I want to have a truth moment. Remember I said I was trying to be celibate? I failed. All up and through these 4 years. These past 4 years, I failed. I end up having sex with the ex-boyfriend that cheated on me, that I broke up with. I end up having sex with the man who's about to be my husband. And because of the things that we see, where people are like, we were celibate and we didn't touch each other and we didn't do any of those things until we got married. God had to really sit me down and be like, yeah, but every time you failed, I taught you something. You got closer to me. You still came to me after you failed. Not at first though, because sometimes I would fail, and in that relationship, I would be like, I can't even look at you. Like, but then she started to show me what real love. He started to show me what real love is, because I would look at this tattoo and be like, but at the end of the day, you married. Like, we ain't getting divorced though. That's how he was going at me. Like, we ain't getting divorced. You came to me, you did what you did, but I ain't going nowhere. I'm about to love you anyway. Within you still messing with old boy, because clearly you still got something to learn about that situation. So He would let me and give me the freedom to go and learn and go and fail, but he would give me so much room to grow. And he would give me so much revelation to grow, because I would still have a conviction in my spirit based off of his love and based off of Jesus always tugging on me, telling me like, nah, don't trip. He ain't tripping. Go, go back to him. Like, go talk to him about it. Go be honest with him about it. And he'll direct me to a scripture, or he'll direct me to a conversation I'm having with somebody, and then it'll just give me a breakthrough, and I'll find myself back on my knees, not only repenting and thanking him, but just in awe of how much and how deep he loved me. Where it's kind of like he knew, well, of course he did. He knew that I was going to fail every single time. He knew that I was going to fail all these times sexually, because it was meant for me to maintain my relatability so other people can relate to me. And it was meant for me to go back to him, to go back and seek him even more, and show myself and to be revealed to myself that how I can't do things by myself. I'm a weak vessel, but with him I'm still loved. And then you just grow, and I get so excited about it. My words just get jumbled. And I said I wasn't gonna make this video super long, but in a nutshell, that's my commitment story with God. It has not always been peaches and cream. Like some people get on YouTube and proclaim like, oh, I've been a nun. I ain't no nun, but he is awesome, and me and him are in a relationship, and now we've gotten to the place where I'm getting to that perfection that he talks about through my failures, through my wins, and he just keep on loving me, and our relationship is solid. And he revealed to me that a relationship isn't supposed to be perfect. It's not supposed to be perfect. It's supposed to be love. It's supposed to be forgiveness. It's supposed to be patience. It's supposed to be kindness. It's supposed to be all the fruits of the Spirit. It's long suffering. It's supposed to be able to withstand anything. And that has been what me and him commitment has been about. It hasn't been about me doing every single thing right. It's been about me doing things wrong and still coming to him and being honest with him, and me thinking bad things but still coming to him and telling him about it. It's been me giving him my truth, even if it's beautiful or if it's ugly. And it's been about him speaking directly to my heart and telling me that no matter what, nothing can separate us from each other. And it's my obedience and it's my desire that's going to keep our relationship molded and bonded the way that it is. So I hope that this video encouraged you to begin your own commitment with God, and it starts with your heart, and then the second step is your mind by the things that you do and your actions. I hope that God, from something that I said through this video, pulls on you and calls on you. And I just ask that you guys pray for me so that I can continue to give you more content here, and hopefully more women can share their testimonies here. And don't forget to head on over to the Crafty Jawn community's Instagram page so that you can join in the conversation and join in the community. We do prayer and scripture readings every second Tuesday of the month. We pick 12 scriptures for the year, and we bust it down, and we study together, and we learn together, and we just seek God together, and we try to commit to him in this relationship together. And we just, try to be the best girlfriends and wives that we can be.